Yonex Percept 100D. What can I say? It definitely made some noise in the tennis world. So here's my review. Okay guys, let's start with similar rackets. I think that Yonex Percept 100D can touch many interesting territories. Something like a radical MP, because the specs are relatively easy to pick and play. The wave distribution is great, so it's not heavy enough, it's not light enough, it's kinda in the middle. So yeah, many radical MP users could potentially switch to this racket if they're looking for maybe a bit more trampoline effect, but at the same time the launch angle is lower. So if we look at this that way, it is quite specific racket, so it's definitely not for everyone. And I think maybe Radical MP is a bit closer to this, let's say, mindset that many players that don't have a specific playstyle or specific needs would maybe prefer Radical MP. But at the same time, Percept 100D is a bit more, let's say, crafted to potential players that would benefit from it. Percept 100D offers bigger forgiveness compared to Radical MP. The forgiveness is probably the standout feature of this frame, and maybe Yonex frames in general, especially 100 square inches head sizes. The power level is, yeah, kind of similar between Radical and P. I should mention here Speed Pro, because I think Yonex wanted to take some fan base of this racket to their camp, and they've seen the potential in marketing. Compared to 97D, is much more forgiving, offers much more power, is just easier to use. With the 97D, you really have to be on point. Great acceleration, maybe catching on the rise. It's not a frame for the. It's not that great for the baseliners. It's more for the attackers. And 100D definitely suits the baseliner DNA player a bit better, I would say. You can stick to the baseline, you can wait for the opponent's mistake. Playing deeper costs you less. You don't have to be that perfect to play deep. Pretty much you create this environment where the opponent can't really hurt you that much. So it's pretty much the grinders philosophy of play style and how they want to play out the point. So in this sense, Percept 100D is great. You have a bit more main strings, right? 18 mains. So in theory, you get a bit less spin potential, but the response is less surprising. Let's call it that way. It's much more predictable, but at the same time, the Percept flex style and with this specific racket, also bigger head size, you still get this power. And to be honest, sometimes I was a bit surprised with the power output I got. Similarly to Speed Pro, so the power range from minimum to maximum is quite wide. It's not really my preference, I would say. I prefer a tighter range of power potential, not too anemic, not too powerful. If the frame is a bit too powerful, I can tame it a bit with strings of choice or tension, and keep it as much predictable as possible. And so I can kind of stick to my flow, find my rhythm, find my zen, and just keep the ball forever in play. With the wider power range, I must be a bit more aware of what I'm doing. But yes, this power range is quite big. Sometimes I was hitting too short, sometimes too far. So I'm still trying to find out the string to shorten this power potential range. And I think I will probably end with K-Pop from Toroline, or maybe Solinco Turbite. Just to increase the spin potential, maybe tighten this maximum power cap a bit squeeze it down. I think that could help, but at the same time, if I squeeze it, I don't want to land too often in this minimum range, because that would create the anemic racket. So yeah, that's the tricky part, I think, to fine-tune this racket. Obviously you can also, you can add control-oriented string, then add some lead to the racket so the power goes up again. I use leather grip and some mass at the sides, some mass at the top. Maybe I'll take some mass down just to keep the racket fast, because I think overall, if you're playing with a 100 square inches racket, you kind of want to keep the frame mobile, because yeah, the beam is still thick, 23 millimeters, I think, same as the Speed Pro. The stiffness is 66, so that's why you get this power potential also. So yeah, and obviously this review wouldn't be finished if I didn't mention Agassi trying this racket. So the king of the grinders is here to guide us with the Percept 100D. Great inspiration. What else? I should finish here, right? We should just all take this racket. It is Agassi approved. So the only question is how to adjust the racket to your preference. So by that I mean static wave, swing wave, balance, strings, tension. If I find this, I will be very happy. Other than that, I think it's a great racket. Compared to Speed Pro, I would say the main difference is in feel, but it's hard to describe the difference in feel. Like, I wanna say Percept feels a bit stiffer, but also has more dwell time, because you have one less cross string, 19 crosses. So you get also a bit more catapult effect, yes, but also a bit more forgiveness, a bit more spin potential, a bit more string movement. The frame itself kinda is stiffer, but because the string density is a bit lower, I think it kinda offsets the stiffness and gives you this feel, forgiveness, and touch, and comfort. So why I think I would prefer the Percept 100D over the Speed Pro is mainly about the string pattern. With the Speed Pro, it's just harder to create the shape. I absolutely love 360 plus graphene edition of the Speed Pro. Something about it was kinda gummy. The dwell time was quite long. And now I think it is slightly less special. I don't feel like the ball is staying longer on the strings. I'm feeling a bit disconnected with the Speed Pro. Obviously, I think there are some better rackets when it comes to feel. Prestige Pro, for example. Yonex V-Core 95, for sure. So you shouldn't be picking this racket for feel. You should be picking this racket for performance. For the control-oriented racket, it gives a lot of free power and spin. So I think if you're a grinder, if you're a baseliner, this is probably maybe top 5 rackets on the market right now, and you should definitely try it. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, please subscribe and see you soon.